Out comes Annihilape, the opponent not wanting to concede a farm down, blind switching for it. Annihilape absolutely feasting. Annihilape will be looking for that one shield, full counter farm down, and leave him with all the energy in the world. Ninetales is still alive, but insanely low, and doesn't quite have a charge move banked yet. Annihilape farms up to the double Rage Fist, and that is not a charge attack priority. The opponent really have to let this go. They opt to shield the first. Annihilape able to farm up, winning charge attack priority. The opponent opted to shield Ninetales, and Annihilape smelling blood in the water, looking to sweep the team. Out comes Greninja. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're showcasing a team that I've featured all the way back in Season 20. We featured it in Season 21, Season 22 as well, and it always provided me incredible results. Spoiler alert, in Season 23, it's just as good and perhaps even nastier than before. There is a high level of disrespect to both Annihilape and Steelix in the current meta, and they happen to form a very powerful core. There's two main reasons I ran this team, if I'm being honest. Firstly, game state is horrendous. The levels of tilt I was getting, losing with Glass Cannon, that was really starting to piss me off. Secondly, these battles were played on my lunch break, so I was currently eating while playing, so I needed a team that I knew fairly well I didn't have to put all that much thought into. With all that being said, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we see Shadow and Shadow Crime with Shadow Steelix into Jumpluff. Week one of the season, we didn't really see too much Jumpluff, but let's be honest, now we're in the second rotation of Great League, people are more than aware that Jumpluff still remains a top meta threat. The opponent say switch into Sableye, we fire off the break-in swipe, we're able to get a clutch attack drop, very skillful on my part. That should mean we should survive 2 foul plays. The question now becomes, do 5 Fairy Winds knock out the Sableye? Jumpluff looks for the Fairy Wind farm down, able to get it, leaving at 100 energy. Back out comes the opposing Jumpluff. No messing around. We are YOLOing the acrobatics. The first one forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Jumpluff will not be denied and able to reach acrobatics number 2. I was quite surprised to see the opponent's double shield here, knowing we got Steelix in the lead. It starts to beg the question, what's in the back? Because Jumpluff isn't going to be particularly good into Steelix, even if they're a mad lad like myself running Energy Ball. The opponent sends out Samurott, and this is already looking like game over. We've got a 2-0 shield advantage. I'm just going to double shield up both Hydro Cannons, leave with that double super effective Ice Punch. The opponent's going to be forced to dump some of their energy, because if not, they'll get double Ice Punch. 1 almost knocks out. They certainly aren't tanking 2. Then even if they have got Energy Ball 1, very easily survivable. Annihilape wins the charge attack priority, leaving Jumpluff on a sliver of HP. The opponent going to fire off the aerial ace, removing me from the field of play. The opponent can throw whatever they like. Steelix really doesn't care. Potentially if they had Solar Beam, they had a chance of winning this game, but I doubt that even KOs. We're able to tank the acrobatics and take that game. In the next battle, your boy Jamie Finn is the algorithm confirmed. The opponent say switches into Fortress, and I send out Annihilape. Annihilape double resisting these bug bites, and this is perfect for me. I can continue to eat my pasta in peace, very safe in the knowledge I can just go for the 1 shield, a full counter farm down. I will be respecting this move as it was potentially an Earthquake. We correctly shield up the Earthquake as we're boosted. The opponent's now got a decision to make. They can either tank this Ice Punch, get counter farm down, or give me that Protect Shield back. The opponent invests that Protect Shield, so whatever's in the back, probably not a fan of Annihilape. They send out Scizor. We're going to be an absolute degenerate, fire off the Psychic Fangs, and they're going to try my luck at catching a Trailblaze. Onto Jumpluff, my catch attempt unsuccessful. We've got the correct alignment, and sometimes in Go Battle League, that's all you need. I know some of you enjoy my mad tangents, so I mentioned I'm eating pasta. I was actually a chef for 7 years, so I'm a pretty good cook. My pasta was very enjoyable, and made even more enjoyable that the first 2 battles I played with this team, I essentially just tapped my phone, won alignment, and won the battle. Yes, I'm calling this battle's over. What is Pidgeot going to throw at Steelix? Trainer, you enjoy yourself. Instant no shield. The opponent falls in the Brave Bird, recognise that simply isn't going to cut it, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see somewhat of a scuffed matchup. Acid Vic. Acid generates energy very, very quick this season. Pacing only 5 then 4 to the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade hits for neutral and cleanly 2 shots. My Thunder Fangs are resisted, but Psychic Fangs hits for super effective. I pause. Ensuring the opponent doesn't make a catch, they actually tank the damage. We don't want to tank the next Leaf Blade, so we make the double resisted Leaf Blade catch onto Jumpluff. I know a few people are going to be wondering, why am I on an Energy Ball? The honest answer to that question is, I've got 3 Shadow Jumpluff built, and I just happened to select this one. I didn't bother to check the moveset. And as we're only in the 3rd battle and we see a Bastiodon, I just remained with this moveset for the duration of today's video. I think Aerial Ace Acrobatics is definitely the correct moveset, but sometimes Energy Ball does come in clutch. Another plus side of running Energy Ball. Especially in like mirror matches against opposing Jumpluff, it just removes the temptation to bait. You cannot throw Energy Ball in the mirror, so you kind of just forced to YOLO that nuke, and that is something I love to do. We're going to send out Annihilape. The opponent pivots out into Lapras, switch locking themselves, which is certainly a decision. We go for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, very skillfully fire off the Rage Fist. The opponent doesn't shield the move. Not sure on that play, and then they concede the match. In the next battle, we see the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. We are ABA weak to fire, so Steelix is actually my Talonflame counter. The opponent sends out Decidueye, so here I thought, we're going to shield with a Frenzy Plant, bank all that energy, send out Jumpluff, tank a Spirit Shackle, overfarm, knock them out of an Aerial Ace, and then threaten an Aerial Ace at the returning Talonflame. Well, that plan certainly backfired as we just got Brave Birded to the face. As Homeslice Henry would say, I can certainly see the writing on the wall. This one looks like it's going to end in defeat. The opponent sends out Marowak. I try and bank this energy. I then try and top left. The game's like, nah. Take your loss like a man. That wouldn't even let me concede. I'll be honest, probably the most fun loss I've had in a very long time. What a moveset on that Decidueye. Heading into the next battle. We saw a battle of Steel types. The opponent says no thank you. Say switch into Jellicent. We get off a whole heap of Thunderfang damage. Make the Surf Catch onto Jumpluff. Honestly, what is this Jellicent? This thing is so small. It's literally like fresh out of its mother. I can still smell the placenta on it. I think one of the best updates I've had in the Go Battle League was when they introduced sizing. When you see an extra small or an extra large Pokemon, it always makes me smile. We're able to fire off the Energy Ball, removing them from the field of play. Back out comes Scizor. We fire off the Acrobatics, forcing the first Protect Shield of the game. Scizor is so much fun in the Go Battle League. However, these oppressive bullet punches don't do much to Steelix, as the steel does resist itself. We fire off the Psychic Fangs, once again being a complete degenerate and dropping their defense. Opponent fire off the Night Slash. Steelix tanks the first. The opponent then send out Cradilly. We show them Annihilate. The opponent like, nope, you've got me, and they concede the match. Heading into the next battle, we see today in the lead position. The opponent say switches into Furret. We send out Annihilate, and I think we all know how this one's going to end. So why I think this team works so well, I think Steelix is kind of free to roam this season. Bug's got a huge buff this season, making Mud Slappers a lot less common, and Steelix can pretty much cheese its way for a lot of things that haven't got a ground subtype in. The opponent here already done enough, and that is another top left. Heading into the next battle, we see another Scizor in the lead position. By no means is a good matchup for the opponent. However, when I ran Scizor, I ran it with double water because you need checks for fire, and I think that's kind of the most common team composition if you are going to run this bug steel type. And you're just completely core broken by Steelix. Speaking of which, the opponent sends out Samurott into my Steelix, the Thunderfangs, tearing through the HP. I recognise Steelix going to have value in the back. So we bank a charge move, catch the Hydro Cannon onto Jumpluff. The opponent farms to the Mega Horn. Mega Horn hits for neutral. They're not a shadow. We can survive this. We're then going to let ourselves get as low as we physically can, give a minimal farm for the returning Scizor, and look to pick up a knockout with the Energy Ball. Energy Ball goes unshielded. Down goes Samurott. I was kind of hoping one Bullet Punch knocked out. We're actually able to survive two, and we just miss out on the Acrobatics. Steelix re-enters the arena, fires off the Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs won't be lethal, but does set up a scenario where I can go for the one shield and farm down. However, I think the opponent very unlikely to have a Fairy, because if they do, they get cooked by a Fire type. We trust in the 2 shield ape. Out comes Thick as Beer, and you guessed it, yet another top left. In the next battle, we see Clodsire in the lead position, while I am core broken. We farm up, make an attempted triple resisted Earthquake catch onto Jumpluff. While the catch is very nice, what isn't nice is switch locking yourself in an atrocious matchup. The opponent's even got Sludge Bomb, which hits for super effective. Stone Edge also super effective, but Sludge Bomb does pace quicker. No one move or knockout. Once again, we're going to be a degenerate, fire off the Energy Ball and fish for that defense drop chance. No defense drop does come through. The opponent rebanks some energy and then send out Dusclops. Switch timer for me is up, so we're going to save Jumpluff as a potential third shield and send Steelix back into the arena. While Steelix Clodsire isn't a great matchup, GBL are blind battles. The opponent, of course, doesn't know my moveset, so potentially could have Earthquakes. I'm going to fire off a Psychic Fangs, fully Thunderfang farm down, and we are going to look to fake it till we make it. Steelix going to Thunderfang Dusclops his remaining HP down. We've easily got enough for the Earthquake. Is the opponent brave, or are they going to invest the protection? The opponent invest that protection at this point. I'm thinking, enjoy yourself, trainer. Earthquake me. Nope, that is a triple resisted Sludge Bomb, trainer. That is not the cleverest bait you've ever done. Steelix fires off the next Psychic Fangs. I believe this again is just a Sludge Bomb, and if it is, it's still not going to be lethal. The opponent fire off yet another Sludge Bomb. We bank the Psychic Fangs, pivot into Annihilate. My joy is short-lived as out comes another Ghost type. At the time of playing this battle, I thought after calling that Sludge Bomb bait, I'm going to show him a 2-shielded Angry Ape, and the opponent is going to run for the hills. Well, how wrong was I? The opponent smartly no-shielded the first Rage Fist, and this is looking like a very dire situation. Hold up. The opponent throws an alignment, giving me a free counter. Annihilape fires off one counter and the Rage Fist. This will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Switch timer is up, and I'm going to look to make a catch. Catch attempt unsuccessful. We send out Jumpluff. The opponent is able to Poison Sting, farm me down, but I think this one's going to be a win. I'm going to send out Steelix, fire off the Psychic Fangs, removing Clodsire from the field of play. If the opponent wants to win this match, they're going to have to double up. They're going to be unable to do that as the Thunder Fangs will knock them out. Opponent fire off the Surf. Surf removes me from the field of play. Annihilape able to survive one further Hex, reach the Rage Fist, and we are able to emerge victorious. Should have won that battle? Probably not, but we're not complaining. Heading into the next battle. We see a fantastic lead. We see Drapion switching. I am so slow to respond, so I'm actually just going to tank a charge move. Bank a bucket of energy. I'm going to try my luck on an Aqua Tail catch onto Annihilape. My catch attempt unsuccessful, so I'm now going to get crunched to the face. How you should play this mid-game matchup is send out Annihilape instantly. However, I didn't do that, so now I'm just going to completely sack the Ape. And the thought process on sacking Ape, it's got the worst matchup into Gliscopod. Both Jumpluff and Steelix are very advantageous. We managed to counter farm into range. We're going to go for the one shield on Jumpluff, a fully fairy win farm down, and the opponent really has nowhere to send out that Gliscopod. They can either put it into a Thunderfang Steelix or into a Jumpluff with loaded energy. The opponent send out Cast Form, go for some weird show and go, not entirely sure on that play, and switch lock Gliscopod. We fire off the first Acrobatics, Jumpluff, all the next Acrobatics. What is the opponent cooking up here? Perhaps they're 5-heading me. I'm now kind of in an awkward spot. I can't really send Steelix back into this Gliscopod, as I don't really fancy tanking the Aqua Jet. The opponent fire off the X's, their Jumpluff, looks to reach the next Acrobatics. The opponent recognises we'd get there, and they're forced to dump yet further energy. Steelix hits the field of play, wastes no time, goes straight for the Psychic Fangs. Can we now Thunderfang farm them down before they reach an Aqua Jet? Steelix looks at that Thunderfang farm down, able to get it, but we'd lost so much HP. Back out comes Cast Form, so Cast Form likely as Energy Ball. Energy Ball probably knocks me out from here. We've still got a shield, so you know the score. We're just going to look to call the bait. Breaking Swipe does do more, so I'm looking to get damage off here. Breaking Swipe does leave them low. If they've got Energy Ball, and they Energy Ball me, you win, trainer. If you Rock Type Weather Ball, you lose. The opponent go for the bait. We've got a shield. We can just shield up the next. A Rock Type Weather Ball, a Thunderfang farm down, and the game got really dicey, but we are able to come out on top. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Public Enemy #1, the second Bastion I saw on the day. I think Bastion's actually got quite a lot of play this season. It pains me to say it, but it does look kind of good. Not that you're going to see me run this tap-tap wall-face nonsense. Although, let's be honest, Steelix isn't that much better. It's essentially a tap-tap Pokemon as well. Don't hate the player, hate the game, I guess. We fake the Earthquake, forcing a Protect Shield. Very, very nice for me. We're going to fire off one further Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs doesn't do much, but these Thunder Fangs are really starting to add up. I always think of Bastion as a degenerate Pokemon, but clearly I'm the biggest degen on the screen currently. I think that's like the 3rd or 4th Psychic Fangs I've thrown. The next Flamethrower isn't lethal. We get off one further Thunder Fang. We send out Annihilape, very quickly delete him in the blink of an eye. Annihilape now has an energy lead, but out comes the Kentucky Fried Chicken, a Bird of Death. Not great for Annihilape. With a 2-to-1 shield advantage and an energy lead, we should be able to remove them from the field of play. The opponent tanked the Rage Fist. Annihilape goes straight for the next Rage Fist, and I was really hoping the opponent let this go. They invest a Protect Shield, throw on alignment. I'm hoping 2 counters knock out, so I don't take the next Incinerate. Unfortunately, 2 counters don't quite do it. We do counter farm down, but leave insanely low. Out comes Drifblim, and I already know I'm cooked in this battle. If you're on an Aerial Ace, you'd win this battle. You'd be able to 4 and throw here, then 1 and throw an Aerial Ace. However, I'm going to 4 and throw. The opponent is now 1 off the move, and I am not 1 off another Acrobatics. We're going to get outpaced by a single turn. It pains me to lose this nonsense team, but we're running some nonsense as well, so we're just going to say GG's and move swiftly on. In the next battle, we see another Gliscopod in the lead position. This opponent actually opting to stay in. I was actually surprised at how much this Aqua Jet did. Steelix, a very bulky shadow Pokemon, but ouch, that hurt. The opponent then makes a very nice catch, catching the Psychic Fangs onto Piloswine. We debuff them, send out Annihilape. Have you ever seen counter do so much damage? This is going to be the easiest one shield and counter farm down in my life. As the opponent's Gliscopod's running Fury Cutter as well, they're not really going to fancy an energy lead Annihilape, as the Fury Cutters are double resisted. Out comes the Dene, of course a fairy into a fighting type. You'd imagine a good matchup for them. With an energy lead, Annihilape can certainly do something. These counters, now they're boosted, don't look resisted. I'm going to shield the parabolic charge and look to be the degenerate and ride that boost. We reach the next Rage Fist, throw it as soon as we get it. Here I'm going to look to catch. However, logically the opponent isn't going to throw the move as soon as they get it. When they're going to throw it is one quick move before we reach the next Rage Fist. We're able to save Annihilape, make the catch onto Jumpluff. This is now an awkward spot for both me and my opponent. The next parabolic charge won't remove me from the field of play. The opponent falls in the play rough. We're just about able to hang on. I pause a turn there. The opponent still make the catch. Catch the energy ball onto Glitterbod. Energy ball picks up the knockout. We look to reach one more. Unable to get there. The opponent Thundershock farm me down. I'm just going to send out Steelix and they're going to be forced to play rough once again. The opponent catching there kind of works for me as well, as I've unset that defense buff. The opponent fire off the parabolic charge. Trainer, you're not going to Thundershock. Farm down Steelix. The opponent commits to it. Unable to get it. Steelix reaches the Psychic Fangs and we take that game. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Primeape in the lead position. As much as I joke about Steelix being degen, it's actually got some play. It's a bit more flexible and stuff like Bastiodon. Here we call the Rage Fist like an absolute mad lad. If I'm being honest, most for an Ice Punch. But if they would have close combated me, we would have been straight in and straight out. Once again, a Rage Fist isn't going to cut it. We're going to bank this energy and make the pivot into Jumpluff. I actually missed the switch button there, so we take one further Karate Chop. This could be an Ice Punch, which I will be respecting. The opponent bait me once again with the Rage Fist and then send out Dusclops. Dusclops, of course, does have Ice Punch, but their attack stat is pitiful compared to Primeape 1, very easily survivable, whereas a double boosted one would have cleanly knocked us out. This is certainly going to be the Ice Punch, but one not all that threatening. It does leave me low, but we're still going to be able to reach one further charge move. We fire off the energy ball on the off chance the opponent look to shield, we fish for that defense drop. The opponent sends out Diggersby. Diggersby looking for the quick attack farm down. We're able to reach the energy ball at this point. I'm just going to pivot into Annihilape. I'm going to snow shield the first move. Primeape's on 1. Logically, if the opponent try and catch, unsuccessful, we're going to counter farm down and 3. So here I'm just never throwing. This is only a fire punch, but I'm going to invest the protect shield. Come on, trainer, go for that catch. You know you want to. There's the Primeape. Primeape unable to reach a move. We're going to farm up to the double Ice Punch. I actually forgot the opponent didn't have a shield, but anyway, Ice Punch is going to be all she wrote. GG's that opponent. I've just finished my 4th day shift at work. Work is hectic, so today, of course, a bit more of a chilled video. We're just relaxing, having a bit of fun. And when I played this, I was insanely tired. As you can tell there, how the heck did I forget they didn't even have a shield? What a potato I am. We see Kanto Marowak in the lead position. It's about time. I was a victim of the algorithm. The opponent sends out Clodsire. We fire off the Rage Fist, reach the boosted Ice Punch on the charge attack priority. Ice Punch rocks the opponent into the red, but unfortunately not enough to knock out. Potentially I could have 2-shielded here just to force alignment. However, I'm actually thinking 2-7, double resisted Thunderfangs and knock out Clodsire. I thought at the time they would, they do not, so we're going to make the Earthquake catch once again onto Jumpluff. Bank our energy and pray Jumpluff is ABA good into the team. Yeah, that's a Cradilly. Oof, rough. So it'd be fair to say we are completely RPS'd in this battle. However, you never know, to be honest. The opponent could fumble the bag. We're going to play it out because I'm on break and I have plenty of free time until I need to go back to work. Step 1, of course, calling the world's worst rock tomb. Okay, that works for me. What's my play from here? Hoping I can break into one and Thunderfang farm down before they reach another move. Potentially, that looks good. Here, I think my only win con is at -1 is going straight Psychic Fangs, forcing both protect shields, then throwing a break-in swipe. The opponent shielded the first, so I definitely should have went for that horny debuff. We force the protection, opponent looking at that mud slap farm down, and then I fumble the bag myself. I definitely should throw a break-in swipe, but it does more. Psychic Fangs doesn't get the job done, and that one does end in heartbreaking defeat, so I guess at the end of the day, I just wasted 1 minute of that opponent's time. Sorry, Mr. Opponent. Heading into the next battle. Steelix into Dragonite. The opponent says no thank you. Say switch into Shadow Kanto Marowak. And we have probably the best check for it in the game. Jumpluff, triple resisting these mud slaps. Rock Slide, non-stab, easily survivable. We overfarm, fire off the energy ball. Picking up that one-hit KO. Get that Kanto Marowak off my screen. Back out comes Dragonite. It's just an aerial ace trainer, I promise. Just kidding. Acrobatics picks up that one-hit KO. The opponent like, wow. No thank you, they concede the match, and heading into the next battle, the Clodsire lead returns. Last time we caught on Jumpluff, we only got away with it because the opponent played like trash. Here I think we're just going to look to play it out. The opponent sends out Moltres, so I'm thinking, what's my play? Breaking Swipe. One shield, Fairy Wind farm all the way down. That's what we go for. Jumpluff hits the field of play, the opponent farm to a potential Brave Bird, which I will be respecting. We correctly shield up the Brave Bird. I'm thinking, we should be able to Fairy Wind farm down. No! Oh, yep, we're cooked. We're now down both Protect Shields. Back out comes Clodsire. We're going to fire off the Energy Ball, hoping it will get the debuff. We're then going to look to fire off the Acrobatics on the charge attack priority, and I miscount. And that is literally the final nail in my coffin. Probably one of the worst games I've ever played, but it is what it is. We're showcasing them as we play them. You obviously don't play all games optimally, and I certainly don't. I'm definitely a potato at the best of times. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, see Drifblim in the lead position. The opponent sends out Drapion, and this time I'm quicker on my response, and I send out Annihilape. Of course, we need to maintain alignment. We don't really want Jumpluff stuck against Drifblim. Here I'm playing it safe. I wasn't sure a Rage Fist would knock out. So we fire off the Ice Sponge, guarantee our shield back or the knockout. Down goes Drapion, back out comes Drifblim. We're able to reach the departing Rage Fist, which will do a lot, or force my shield back. We're able to force our Protect Shield back, but unfortunately do give a huge Astonish farm down. This is where Steelix Bulk will come in clutch. Even if the opponent falls in a Shadow Ball, which they do, one is survivable. The opponent sends out Diggersby, and I'm feeling kind of good about the situation. This is definitely a matchup where having Energy Ball is clutch, as a Shadow Energy Ball just does so much, even to the regular variant of Diggersby. I kind of anticipated this going unshielded. Who the heck shields Diggersby? Apparently this opponent. This Fire Punch still won't be lethal. I just need to make sure this Energy Ball lands on its intended target. No catch attempt is made. Energy Ball will be putting Diggersby into a range where Steelix can knock him out. Energy Ball rocks the opponent deep into the red health range. Jumpluff has done its job. We elect to let go down. The opponent not wishing to concede a farm down. Send out Drifblim. Breaking Swipe does do more, so I fire off the Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe rocks him low. We're able to Thunderfang farm down. Steelix leaves. One off the next Breaking Swipe, and we're just about able to emerge victorious in a very close game, despite a hard winning lead. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the final battle of today's Shoutcast, and we see a huge core breaker for the team. Not only is this a core breaker, it's navigated by one of the best trainers in the world, my friend No Bomb for Head. This is the second consecutive day we've queued into one another. Who knows how to report bullying online? No Bomb for Head, leave me alone, man. He absolutely clapped my cheeks yesterday, and even double baited me as well. I cried myself to sleep. I'm looking for redemption, and things didn't look good, but he blind switches and defer it. When we send out Annihilape, and this gives me very much a fighting chance. I go for the one shield, full counter farm down. Annihilape is completely loaded. Ninetales is low. Ninetales re-enters the arena. We farm up to the double Rage Fist, and that isn't a charge attack priority either. The first Rage Fist forces his first Protect Shield. Annihilape doubled up and able to win charge attack priority. No Bomb for Head double shields his Ninetales, revealing he must be weak to counter the back, hence he blind switch. Looking to pay out any potential fighter, he did that. Out comes Greninja. We farm up. I show my third, out of respect. I'll be honest, that was probably the only backline we could manage to beat with a Ninetales lead. We managed to take the game, but I'm always humble. He is definitely a better battler than I am. GG's, buddy, always a pleasure. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's Shoutcast. A very strong team. Not the most skillful team, quite easy to use. If you're looking for a strong climbing team, look no further. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to our battle submission form is down below. And as always, huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.